Arizona basketball steamrolls Colorado in Boulder. Wildcats baseball braves a weekend of multiple schedule changes, and a UA hockey star joins us later in the show. All this and more to come on Dorm Room Sports Chat. To you from our studio in the Park Student Union. I'm Joey Putrelo. Tonight I'm joined by Go AZ Cats reporter Danny Passavoy and ESPNU campus rep Ashley Nevel. Coming off a nail-biting loss to rival Arizona State, the Wildcats needed an assuring win on the hardwood. Saturday, Arizona traveled to Boulder to face a confident Colorado team that had won 4 of its last 5 games, including a 61-52 win over the Sun Devils at home. Head coach Sean Miller had the Wildcats focused and firing right out of the gate as they jumped out to a 22-5 advantage to start the game. By halftime, Arizona's lead was just 6, but after a 57-point second half, the UA ran away with an 88-61 victory at the Coors Event Center. Aaron Gordon led the team in scoring with a career-high 23 points, and TJ McConnell was brilliant at the point, matching season highs with 10 assists and 4 steals as well. Earlier today at his press conference, Miller told the media about the team's constant belief that they always can win, even when others may think otherwise.
It's always good when you win, and winning breeds confidence, and we've never lost our confidence, though. You guys may have lost confidence in us. I know we've struggled, but among our struggles, I feel like we've kept our head above water.
Obviously, this was a big conference win for Arizona, but how much more extra momentum did the Wildcats gain by blowing out the Buffaloes, Ashley?
It was definitely a needed game, I think, after dealing with what they dealt with, going to ASU, losing there in double, triple overtimes. So that was definitely needed, and I think also getting Aaron Gordon back on his feet was definitely a big factor in their win with 23 points. And also today, Nick Johnson mentioned that to get Nick confident, it takes Aaron Gordon scoring. And also I think someone who's not mentioned enough is Gabe York, who had 10 rebounds, so he also contributed a lot to the floor. So I think that's been huge for them.
Right.
I mean, what we talked about the other day is they can either take the Arizona State game and spiral downward, or they can take it and run. And it turns out they took it and run. TJ McConnell, 10 turnovers, or 10 assists, no turnovers, 4 steals over the last couple games. This guy's playing very well and probably should have won Pac-12 Player of the Week this week. And it looks like Arizona found Aaron Gordon again, giving Gabe York a little bit of extra minutes, letting him shoot, giving him the green light to shoot in their offense, and giving him the confidence to shoot means the world to him, and also means the world to this team, because they need that perimeter shooting, especially when Caleb Tarczewski isn't playing that well down low. So they're going to need that. And TJ McConnell finding guys like Gabe York, finding guys like Nick Johnson, getting open looks finally for the first time in who knows how long. So this team is really clicking right now, and I think it starts with TJ McConnell.
Right, and you mentioned York's 10 rebounds, and you're talking about his shooting. He's played fantastic defensively as well.
Yeah, no, he definitely has, and he's one of the X factors of this team moving forward. If they have a guy on the perimeter who can shoot lights out like Gabe York can, that's going to mean the world to this team going into March.
Well, Danny, Aaron Gordon looked like all the preseason hype during that game, shooting 10 of 13 from the field, grabbing 8 rebounds, and he even knocked down a couple three-pointers. If Gordon can continue to play like this throughout the remainder of the season, then how much less of a problem does missing Brandon Ashley become?
Missing Brandon Ashley is definitely still an issue. And
Sure.
Arizona lost a 6'9", 6'10 player who plays like a 6'10 player, but can also shoot a 15-footer. He expanded their offense. So to lose a guy like that, he's irreplaceable. But when you have guys like Aaron Gordon stepping up for 23 points, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson will get back into his element in the next few weeks as well. It's less of an issue, but it's still definitely an issue when you go into the tournament and you're facing teams that have a 7-footer, that have 3 guys over 6'10". They're not going to be able to match up, so they're going to need to spread out. And we saw Aaron Gordon hit a couple threes. Don't expect that down the road. But, I mean, if a guy like that is shooting well from the perimeter like Brandon Ashley did, it's less of an issue than it is.
I mean, as you mentioned, it is still a big issue. He provided a lot to their offense and defense as well. He can not only shoot inside, but as you mentioned too, he developed that outside game, which I think has been crucial to them. Also, the chemistry. We saw when he went down, the chemistry lacked there with the team. He provides assists. He's good with his teammates. He knows where everyone is on the floor. But also, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, I think, has played a huge role coming off the bench and even starting too. I think as the season continues and also into Pac-12 play, he's going to be crucial to their team in terms of his size, and also with he could shoot too. He's got a nice one. If he can develop that jumper a little bit better, I mean, he's going to be a nice little shooter for them too.
Yeah, and Hollis Jefferson wasn't as big in the Colorado game as he usually is, but in the second half they didn't really need him.
That's true, but also we can't forget what he did against Utah.
Sure.
He went out there. He did a lot of clutch things down the stretch. And I think also in overtime, he provided a lot of buckets that they needed and they couldn't find elsewhere. Gabe York, he struggled with shooting. So did Nick Johnson, I think, too. So it's nice to be able to have guys that can contribute, and I think he's one of them.
Well, there's a reason that Rondae is coming off the bench and that Gabe York is starting. Every team that is deep and expects to make a long tournament run needs a spark off the bench. And nobody has provided a spark off the bench in the Pac-12 like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I mean, I've never seen a player on an Arizona team hustle as much as this guy has. He's everywhere. He's defending everywhere. He's hauling in rebounds, 7-8 rebounds a game that are crucial, diving for balls on the court to get them back, and creating second chance opportunities, which this team thrives on. So he's going to be crucial down the stretch, and it's going to be exciting to see where the freshman can end up because he definitely has NBA potential.
All right, well, there are just 4 games left until the Pac-12 tournament, and March Madness officially begins. The UA returns to the McHale Center Wednesday for another conference showdown against California. That game will tip off at 7 p.m. Arizona baseball pulled out the brooms over the weekend. More on that when we return to Dorm Room Sports Chat on UA TV Channel 3.
Hi, it's David Hasselhoff, the Hawk. Get Hawk with UATV. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial.
Thanks for sticking around on DRSC. I'm Joey Putrelo alongside Danny Passavoy and Ashley Nevel. Coming over from Lorman, Mississippi, the Alcorn State baseball team needed the UA to reschedule the entire series because of travel accommodations. Instead of a game Friday and Saturday night with the traditional Sunday afternoon matinee, on Saturday night the first contest was played, followed by a Sunday doubleheader. The schedule changes would not affect the Wildcats' play as they swept the Braves, outscoring them by 35 runs. The first game of the doubleheader was the most lopsided of all 3 blowout wins over the weekend. Sunday's Game 1 final score was 20-1 Arizona. The Wildcats' record now stands at 6-2, and they'll have off until Friday as there are no Tuesday or Wednesday games scheduled for this week. So Ashley, the Wildcats' batting lineup posted insane numbers all weekend long, but in your opinion, who was the best performer?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, they all performed outstanding considering, they blew them out, 20-1 the last game on Sunday. So I think with Gilbert, Raymond, and also Gibbons, they're all, posting above 400. So I think that it's kind of hard to say who is the number one player on that team. I think they can all get some credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you outscore a team 37-2, like they did over the weekend. It's hard to really pinpoint one exact player. But how about a guy like Bobby Dahlbeck, a freshman out of nowhere,
hit a gopher.
Yeah, absolutely. The other day, 9th inning, down by 1. comes up with a huge home run to send the game to extras. Granted, they didn't win that game, but that's the spark that the Wildcats really didn't have that much of last year. Or a guy like Jordan Berger. Jordan Berger's a catcher, came in because Riley Moore was struggling a little bit behind the dish. And this guy's got 1 RBI a game, 2 RBIs a game, 1 run scored, 2 runs scored, just providing that little extra offense that have really paced the Wildcats so far this season. It's really difficult to pinpoint where they're doing so well. Obviously, you have guys like Kevin Newman, you have guys like Trent Gilbert, Cody Raymer, all playing super well right now, Zach Gibbons. So it's going to really be interesting to see where the Wildcats emerge on offense.
Yeah, and you mentioned Riley Moore with his struggles behind the plate, but he's still swinging the bat well, and Arizona's very deep this year at catcher.
Well, absolutely, and this is one of the deepest catching classes that they've had in my time, at least at Arizona. Riley Moore is a very, very good hitting catcher, and everybody knows that, but he cannot get lazy behind the dish, and he cannot get lazy framing pitches. And the other day when Arizona went down 11-0 in the first inning, Andy Lopez actually went back into the locker room and watched tape on Riley Moore not frame pitches. That's not going to bode well with Andy Lopez.
Right.
And especially when you have a guy like Jordan Berger swinging well right on his tail.
Yeah.
So right now the job is Jordan Berger's to lose. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to incorporate Riley Moore down the stretch.
So we've talked about the hitting. So, Danny, I want to get into the pitching now. James Ferris tossed a complete game shutout on Saturday, and in Game 1 on Sunday, Cody Hamlin went all the way as well. So with these guys especially, they're playing very hot right now on the mound. Can they continue that as Pac-12 play comes onto the schedule?
Well, it's going to be interesting because obviously we've seen the experience from James Ferris so far. Obviously, he had to came back this year, but we haven't seen much from Cody Hamlin. Cody Hamlin's a guy that went 10-2 in junior college last year. The guy's got great stuff, throws a little bit from the sidearm, but he's a good pitcher, and he went all the way. He went the full 9 innings, and it's not like this bullpen is bad. They have guys like Tyler Parmenter, Xavier Board, Matt Troop, Bobby Dahlbeck, Tiger Talley out of the pen to use. But if these guys are able to go the full 9 innings and you can rest up that bullpen, this team looks pretty good as a staff on the mound.
And as he mentioned with James Ferris, he was a 15th-round draft pick to the Houston Astros and decided to still come back, improve his game, and I think that so far he's been doing that.
Absolutely, especially the other day with 10 strikeouts in his complete game shutout. So it's going to be interesting to see if James can actually improve his draft stock. If you come back as a senior, that usually doesn't happen. But he's in the Pac-12. He's a Friday night starter. If he pitches well, he can absolutely move up.
Up next, he led the Wildcat hockey team to its first win over ASU in 37 games and carried the program to its first appearance in the American Collegiate Hockey League Division I Championships, and for the first time in almost a decade. Andrew Murms joins us live in the studio after these messages. You are watching Dorman Sports Chat on UATV Channel 3.
I'm Derek Williams, the former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UATV. Don't change the channel.
Started at the UA in the 1970s. Only 12 players have reached 200 career points. Now Arizona senior forward Andrew Murms is just 3 away from becoming the 13th player to ever accomplish that feat here, and a single point away from being the first Wildcat to accumulate 60 points in a season since Robbie Nowinski in the 2008 to 2009 season. So tonight we are lucky enough to have him with us live in the studio. Andrew, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So you are coming over from a town in the outskirts of Boston, Massachusetts, and before you became a Wildcat, you were playing for the South Shore Kings. So, and that was right in your backyard. You're an East Coast kid like me. What other schools were you looking at to play hockey, and how come you ultimately chose Arizona?
I definitely wanted to obviously stay back east so my parents could watch me play. But I had a buddy, Mike Bassist, who was a senior also on the team, who I played prep school with in New Hampshire. We both decided to play juniors. I played for the South Shore Kings. He played for the New York Apple Corps. And he just was like, hey, I'm going to go to Arizona and play hockey out there. It's a lot of fun, a lot of fans, and it's a great school. He got me to come out and visit, and once I stepped on the canvas, it was really easy to accept it.
Now, you are one of the 5 players left to undergo that program overhaul in the offseason going into your the offseason of your sophomore year. So what was that transition like for you, and how is being an Ice Cat different from the culture of now being a Wildcat?
It's a lot different of a culture. After my freshman year, hockey, was obviously very important to me, and it wasn't as serious being an Ice Cat. Don't get me wrong, a lot of fun, but we wanted to also be competitive on the ice as much as having fun at the university. And the switch over that Hogan's made has been a great one. We keep on getting new and new players that obviously, want to be here for the school and the academics, but also for hockey. It's been a great transition because we not only played better teams, but we're now going to the national tournament for my first time in 4 years. And I know past generations haven't been in it, especially last year's guys, never beaten ASU. And
right.
Us finally doing it. This national championship is for all the boys and all the ex-Ice Cats and the future Wildcats. We want to win it for them.
So, and you've been a key piece to one of Arizona's most historic hockey seasons. This year, you and the team snapped that 37-game winless streak to ASU on its senior night, too. And the UA is in the ACHA Division I National Championships for the first time since 2006. So what's the ride been like throughout these 4 years for you to accomplish all that you have as a group, and especially in your senior campaign?
It's been unbelievable. The group of guys that we have 25, I think, and, every year new freshmen come in, and they're just great guys to hang out with. And beating ASU, I can't even put it into words. Once that puck finally got out of the blue line with 5 seconds left, it was like a miracle. Just like, the 1980 Olympics, where it was just like everyone didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I just started banging the glass. I was so excited. And when I got off the ice, I had around 50 missed calls and messages from all former Ice Cats saying that they're so proud of us. And it was something special. As far as personal success, I've definitely had some success getting 190, I think 7 points right now. But I couldn't do that without any of my teammates. Ansel Evans-Anderson's been a great line mate this year.
Sure.
I had Brady Lefferts, Brad Richards, and also Brian Sagaki, who, those guys, if they're not putting the puck in the net or being in the right decisions, I'm able to score, but I love dishing the puck and getting assists, and those guys have been able to put it in the net every single time. And, I'm thankful for them. And on top of that, goaltending, defense, it takes a team to win games. And, right now we have a great team. We got great team chemistry. And although I'm putting the puck in the net for my team, that's my role. We got David Risk and a bunch of third-line guys. Eric Waters, who's a senior, who's the best third-line player in the game. And if they don't do their job of blocking shots and, taking hits and doing the little things right, I don't have the opportunity to score. And, I appreciate what everyone does on the team.
Now, let's go off that more. The numbers don't lie, Andrew. You've not only put up the biggest numbers on the team for the past 3 years, but other players who joined the first line with you have seen an increase in their offensive statistics as well. So after graduation, I want to know what your plans are. Are you going to hang up the skates, or are you going to pursue a professional career?
I'm definitely going to pursue a professional career. I got a guy that's going to help me after the season. And it's my dream. I've been working on it since I was 2, since my dad basically taught me how to skate before I could walk. It's something that I've been striving for. Working out on and off the ice is very big. And my teammates that have been on my lines have been not only helping me put up points, but helping us win games and getting the university recognized. And that's only going to help not only me in the future for playing hockey, but other guys that want to come here and play hockey after college. And I know that a lot of guys do on the team now. And as we keep moving up in the ACHA polls, it's just going to make more and more people notice us, and that's exactly what we want.
All right, Andrew, well, thanks again for taking the time out of your Monday night to sit
you.
down with us. Best of luck to you in the national tournament.
Thank you.
Arizona will be the number 15 seed in the tournament and are scheduled to face the 18th seeded Illinois in the opening round on March 6th in Delaware. After the break, Danny and Ashley are back with us for a game of 30 seconds. You are watching Dorman Sports Chat on UA TV Channel 3. Time to cap this episode of DRSC off with a quick game of 30 seconds where Danny and Ashley, and also myself, have 30 seconds to voice any particular topic we want in sports. So Ashley, lead us off.
I'm going to talk about the Phoenix Suns and how well that they've been playing this year. It's incredible. No one expected them to be playing the way that they are. With Goran Dragic, he's been outstanding. And I think that, Arizona needs to start, the fans need to start focusing on that and taking into consideration. I mean, they're a 7th seed right now in the Western Conference, and I think that they're going to make it to the playoffs, and they're going to play very well.
Awesome. Well, Danny, you are up next, so go ahead.
So Syracuse is kind of picking up where Arizona left off, losing 2 of 4 games. So now they're ranked 4th in the country. But should they have lost their second game to Duke? CJ Fair went up for the shot. Ronnie Hood stepped in. Looked like a charge at the time. It was a charge. He had his feet planted. Jim Boeheim went crazy. But is that a charge or is that a block? Under the new rule, if you're going up for the shot already and you step in and take the charge there, it's a blocking foul. This year, that new rule was implemented. So, should they have lost that game? I don't know. His feet were planted. Under my terms, that's a charge. Syracuse deserved to lose.
All right, I'll close this out. You know, I've been kind of following the NFL Combine, and the draft is nearing us here, and you know, there is a chance that Johnny Manziel could go to the Houston Texans, but I'm saying stay clear of that. Pick Jadeveon Clowney. You need that pass rushing guy. And since when have party boys made it in the league as quarterbacks in the NFL? I mean, you take a look at guys like Matt Leinart, Ryan Leaf. You know, if you're a party boy quarterback, usually it's not going to work out. So draft Jadeveon Clowney. He's got some troubles off the field with South Carolina, but I think he will work out for Houston. That'll do it for the first episode of the second episode, of the spring semester. We'd like to thank you for tuning in and hope you will again next Monday at 9 for our analysts, Danny Passavoy and Ashley Nevel. I'm Joey Putrelo, cordially wishing you a wonderful good night. You are watching Dorman Sports Chat on UATV, Channel 3.